What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. It is the 10th day of November, and here we are sitting at about $0.0035 with 10 hours and 43 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. We are up about 13% on the day, which is nice, but don't get too eager. Don't get too excited, right? That might just hurt your feelings more if the price comes down. Zebec has been very volatile really throughout this range, and really since September we've been very volatile. So moves up are met by moves down are met by moves up. We'll just see. Is this going to persist? Does this turn into something more? Can we rely on this to send us to higher prices, or is this just more of the same stuff that we've been experiencing over the past couple of months, where it's just toying with our hearts before it sends us to lower prices? We'll see. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. We'll zoom out from there. I am under the suspicion that this is the real deal, that we will be moving higher, but time will tell. We'll see. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame here. We'll zoom out. 1 hour, 42 minutes left in this 1 hour time frame. I mean, you're at a point of resistance here, right? Finding resistance, but the thing is you found resistance, you came back to it. You found resistance, you came back to it, and you're getting higher lows and even higher highs as you progress through this. I would think if you were to find resistance here, you would have found it already. I think the fact that you are consolidating right here tells me you're going to break out to the upside. That's just my thoughts right there. That doesn't mean you have to, but it's just the way that it's looking right now. The RSI, we do have bearish divergence. In all fairness, you've got a lower high here and a lower high there, right, with a higher high and a higher high there, slightly higher highs on the price. But this bearish divergence started here, and with the action of the last hour, you actually came back down and went below where this divergence started. So this drop, in other words, what we saw in the last hour, that little 1.8% drop, that's enough to reset the oscillators on this divergence, right? You might be looking at this and saying there's bearish divergence, and I would agree, there is. We already saw the move, though. That's what I'm saying. Really, now that we've seen the move, really what we have now is lower lows in the RSI with higher lows in the price. It's hidden bullish divergence. It's a good thing. Stochastics look good. The MACD looks good. Everything about this looks good. Yes, there's bearish divergence, but really the MACD looks like it's about to bounce. The RSI looks powerful, and so does the stochastics. Unfortunately, this is just on the 1 hour time frame, so nothing dramatic is going to come from this, but I do expect we break out to the upside. Okay, 4 hour time frame here. It just makes so much sense. Where we're going to go, it's probably up here. And if not there, then somewhere between here and here. Somewhere between 0.00414 to 0053, somewhere in that area. I think you really are going to move up immediately to 0041. We might be there by the end of the day, man. Who knows? If not by the end of the day, certainly over the coming days. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, the RSI is powerful. Being in the overbought zone, we love to see that. Stochastics look good. And the MACD, you are just about to cross above the zero, actually, with your orange line. You're crossing right now. So, you know, typically in these 4 hour moments where we do cross above the zero, you get a little push up, and then you start to consolidate. So I do expect, you know, 0035 right now. I would expect that we do go somewhere around 004, maybe 0041, maybe 0039, but somewhere around 004, something there. Find resistance, we consolidate for a day or three, and then later this week we'll continue to rally up to these other targets. That'd be my thought. By the end of the week, Zebec, you're probably at 0047 to 0053 dollars, somewhere in that area there. Looking good. And again, typically, for whatever reason, the 4 hour time frame, the MACD, when we cross above the zero, we typically get consolidation before moving higher, right? Here, we're crossing above the zero, right here. We moved up a little bit, but then we consolidated, right? From here, this was the 1st of October on the 12th hour. We didn't start moving up until the 5th, really like 3.5 days later. I guess we started moving up here on the 4th, on the 20th hour, like 3.5 days later. That's when we started to move up. You know, here we crossed above the zero. We consolidated for a little bit. We did move up a little bit more, but ultimately we were just moving sideways. We're kind of range bound. Let's talk about, let's look back whenever we were moving up higher, whenever we did have a trend here. You crossed above the zero right here, you consolidated, then you had a bigger move, right? Crossed above the zero here, look at that. Right here where you crossed above the zero, you consolidated. You actually consolidated for a little bit, and then you had to push higher, but ultimately it was a longer form of consolidation, and then you did push higher inevitably. But typically these consolidation phases last 1 to 3 days, so being that it is the 10th, I would expect on the 13th, maybe the 14th, maybe as early as the 12th or the 11th, we start to move up again, but you probably do consolidate here. Just because we do this typically with the 4-hour MACD doesn't mean we have to do it here. There is a scenario where we break through the zero here and the price just erupts, but we'll see. I'm calling for something around 00414, maybe 004, right? 0039, 0041, 004 itself. That's what I'm expecting, either by the end of the day or tomorrow, something like that, right? If we're looking at this here on the daily time frame, stochastics are pointed up, looking good. The MACD does have bullish divergence. Yes. No. Technically, yes, there is some bullish divergence, but we're already seeing that move play out. The RSI is looking good as well, bouncing off the same areas it typically does bounce from. When we bounced here, we went to the overbought zone. We bounced here, we went to the overbought zone. I would imagine we do the same here. So that should result in a move overall that does take us back to the upper ends of this kind of downtrend. But I would expect here we break out and that we do go higher, right? Whenever we break above, I mean, what would the level be? The line in the sand to watch. It's actually a very well respected line, I have to admit. You know, something around 005. When we get above 005, it's time to get excited, I would say. Maybe even just a little bit below there. And excited for what, you might ask? Excited for new all-time highs. Be excited for 3 cents and beyond once we get above 005. The area that we're expecting to achieve by the end of this next move is somewhere between about 3 cents to 8 cents. Somewhere in this range, anything and everything in between. I know an 8x to a 22.5x, that's a very big range, but that's the range we're given. Specifically, I think that we will find resistance here around 4.5 cents to 8 cents. Let's see if we can refine this a little bit, right? Are there other trend lines or Fibonacci extension levels that match up with this? Why can't I talk? Let's look at this. Let's just take a high to a low here. I mean, the 3618 is all the way up there at about 4 cents. That 4.5 cent area is looking appetizing. Not so much there, and that's fine. What about this high here? And I would move the low, but it's basically the same low. I guess it's technically not. Let's get the actual low here. There's a lot lining up at that 4.5 cent area. There is some significance between 8 cents and 6 cents there. There's a lot lining up at that 4.5 cent area. That might be exactly where we top off, but time will tell. The 2618, it's a very, I mean, it makes sense that might be where we top off, but time will tell. We'll see. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.